writing down the dates of everything that's happening. And so I was making the video, and he just pulled up asking who I lost because he thought I lost somebody. And so now we're just having a cordial conversation. He happened to know my uncles and my family, and this is Roy. Everybody meet Roy. And so, did you grow up in church?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And so
I was actually an Episcopalian.
So what exactly is that?
Well, it's Episcopal church, and the Methodist church and the Catholic church are very, very similar in ceremony and beliefs and all. Okay. I married a Baptist girl. She went to First Baptist Church, and her parents were devout Baptists, been, Baptists all their life and everything. I wasn't going to take her out of her church. I mean,
Yeah.
If she
wants to go to church there, you're going to go to church there, right?
We were going to get married there, so that's where she wanted to get married, and I felt like that's woman's choice,
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you felt like that.
So that's what we ended up doing. We got married to First Baptist Church here in Port Neches, and I ended up going to church with her, and she just passed away August 31st.
Wow. I'm so very lost.
We were married 30 years. She was 14 years younger than me, so when I started going with her, she wasn't quite 30 yet. And when she died, she was 60.
Well, I'm sure she had a really happy life.
Yeah, we dated a while, then got married. Lived a good life. She was a good wife to me.
You seem like a good man, so I feel like you should have a good wife.
Well, I've had one bad wife that run around on me, and I didn't appreciate that much.
Of course not. I wouldn't appreciate that either.
So when I got Becky, she fulfilled my needs. She took care of me. She cooked for me. She did my clothes. I liked her friends. She had some nice friends, and we just got along great with both sides, her friends and my friends. And
good. See, I've had trouble with that because I've had a best friend, and he's a boy, but I've known him since I was younger, and we recently just started hanging out 2 years ago, and my past two boyfriends always just bring him up they don't like him, and the thing is he's never done anything ever.
Yeah.
It was completely platonic.
Well, I seem to meet people pretty easy.
Yeah, me too. Clearly, I'm here we're having this conversation.
But anyway, I didn't have any problem with none of her friends, and
good.
They didn't have a problem with me. They all liked me, it seemed like. They told me they thought I was good for Becky, and so I had doubts when I met Becky. She was, like I say, younger than me, 14 years younger, and my first class reunion I took her to, the girls that I had gone with in high school, dated and everything, asked me what junior high I picked her up at.
Oh my gosh.
She still had long hair with ringlets,
Yeah.
down to her butt, just about. And she looked real young, but she wasn't.
You want to hear something crazy?
What?
My dad was 47, mom was 20 when I was born.
Oh,
so yeah, I can't say nothing, man.
So anyway, wasn't that much difference. But anyway, that 14 years was quite a difference.
Yeah, it's a good number though.
But
she was mature.
Yeah, she knew what she's doing at 30 years old.
Yeah.
And like I said, we dated a while and everything, and then she just decided we're getting married. That's the way women are. She said, "This is enough." She said, now whether you love me or not. We've been going together long enough that you ought to know by now.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to get married.
Do you think that knowing God helped you in that relationship?
Yes. Started going to church with her regular, and I don't know, it just, everything kind of gelled, just seemed like we were both happy and both wanting the same things out of life. And I was concerned about our age difference, but it didn't bother her. Me being older than her, I told her, I said, "Look, I'm 43 years old now.
Yeah.
going on 44, and you're going to be 30, and
like, what's going on? Are we doing this thing or not?
And I said, are you sure you want to marry a man that much older than you? I said, hon, you've never been married and you've never had any kids. You might decide that you want to have a family.
Yeah.
And I'm past that now. I had a boy, and
I was going to ask you, y'all have kids?
I had one that got killed in an auto accident when he was 17 and a half years old. Yeah. And then I raised 2 stepchildren from my second marriage. My first one that got killed was from my first marriage.
Wow. I'm very sorry for your loss.
So anyway, Becky was just, you know, she was just up front with everything, and that's why I admired her, because there wasn't any bullshit with her. You knew exactly where you were every minute of the day and what was going on. And so when I told her, I said, look, you might decide you want a family, and you're young enough to still have a family and really enjoy a life. And I really don't want any more kids at my age. You know, I'm 44, gonna be 45. I'd be 65 years old before we got them out of school and they'd be in college.
Yeah, like my dad would be in his 70s right now.
I said, I don't know if I want to get into that.
Yeah.
I said, why do you want an old man like me to start with, gal?
Because she loved you.
And she says, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am a material person. You have what I want.
Oh,
and
that took a turn.
And I said, really? And what is that, gal? She said, you got a nice brick home, you got money in the bank, you drive a nice car, and I've talked to all your friends, and they say I will be taken care of, that you took care of your other wives.
I feel like there's other ways to take care of people besides money, though.
Oh, there is, but to a woman, that security means a lot, I'm sure.
See, I had my own job, I had my own apartment and everything, and then I decided to go to college because I felt like for people to listen to me, I would have to have like a doctorate degree next to my name. Yeah. And so my Uncle Alex agreed to let me live with him because I was planning on going to college. And so I lived with him for a little bit, and I felt like they were judging me a lot for the choices that I wanted to do, and like I was kind of teaching them, you know, about God and whatnot, and it was just uncomfortable, so I moved into my brother's house.
My wife had a college education, and so did I. We both went to Lamar, but she had a nursing degree. So she made good money. Yeah. She didn't really need me, per se. She had a good job, made good money. So with both of our salaries together, there was no problem with anything we wanted to get. Yeah. If she wanted a new vehicle, I said, go pick it out, you know.
Well, see, my ex-boyfriend he sold marijuana, and he made a lot of money, and we dated for 5 years, but I think within like the first 6 or 7 months he started hitting me, and we and so like I would hit him back sometimes, but he, like, it was just very toxic, and for some reason I would always go back to him, like I don't know why. And the thing is, whenever we would break up, he's like, oh, I could buy you this, you could have that, I'd get you a car, oh, you could be having Louis Vuitton. I'm like, I don't want any of that. It's like, I just want to be loved. Like, that's all I want, you know?
Somebody not whip my ass every day.
Yeah, basically.
You know,
was hell.
That is what happened to my first wife.
Oh, gosh.
We got divorced, and she married this guy, and his wife's name was Linda, and my wife's name was Linda.
My grandma's name's Linda.
And we had run around with her. He was her boss.
Oh.
And there was some hanky-panky going on at the office that I didn't know about, but his wife figured it out.
Well, thank God for her.
And so, because he had done it before to other guys that worked in the office.
That's shitty.
So anyway, when we ended up getting a divorce, Linda called me and she said, Roy, she said, I want to talk to you, but I want to talk to you face to face, not on the phone. I said, okay. I went back to my mother's house when we got divorced. I moved out of the house and let her keep the house because we had a 2-year-old child. Yeah. And I didn't want to disrupt his life. Yeah. And him, you know, being put in an apartment somewhere or doing something. So to keep everything normal for him, I said, look, I'll move out of the house and I'll take that into consideration, that I'm giving up my portion of the house against some of the other monies and stuff that I have. I had some stocks and stuff. I said I'll keep that, because I had the stock before I married her anyway. I was pretty well established when we got married, so I said, but we'll work it out as close as we can. You're going to get to me some quite a bit, some what financially, because of the house equity. We had so much equity in the house. I said, but we'll get as close as we can. So we did. And then after I got divorced, and his wife called me and said she wanted to talk. I said, okay, where do you want to talk at? She said, well, I'm living in Beaumont now. I went back home to my parents. And she said, you know, your cousin is my hairdresser. I said, yeah. She said she was. And she said, so I keep up with you through your cousin. First cousin. She said, she told me I ought to tell you this, because you've been having a hard time and you're blaming yourself for the divorce, but it's not your fault, Roy. She said, both of them have the same problem. They can't keep their pants up. And I said, okay. She said, so I want to talk to you about that. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Where you at?
I'm down here at the city.
Doing what?
I'm in the cemetery right now. I come down here to look at Becky's grave and
Oh, okay.
one another.
Sorry I couldn't answer the phone earlier. We were just crazy busy. Only two of us in there.
Yeah, well,
Anyway.
me and this
We're
young lady are having a chit chat. What's your name again? Megan
Esquivel.
Megan Esquivel. I went to school with her cousins.
My uncles.
And
actually.
uncles.
Yeah.
And
Where's your uncle?
I have 4 uncles. No, I have 3 uncles. Uncle Roy was the principal of Port Neches High School, and then I had my Uncle Danny and then my Uncle Alex, and my dad was Howard Esquivel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He just passed away.
Yeah, Uncle Danny did. And you know what's crazy? They passed away on the same day as my dad.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I didn't know that. Huh.
yeah, so if you hear I was riding around in the cemetery with a good-looking gal, I wanted you to know who it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Esquivel. They're kind of cute.
Hey, well, thank you.
My sister
Well, I
gal.
was just calling to tell you that we're having chili at the church. I'm on my way to go get the kids, so.
Okay, I'll meet you there. You gonna be there, huh?
Yeah, in about 15 minutes.
All right, I'll meet you there at the church.
Okay.
I'm fixing.
All right.
I'm fixing to leave. I just come through here to go through the cemetery and look at Becky's grave and my mother and daddy's, and she was sitting there, kind of looking depressed
Yeah.
in the covered area, you know where the deal is.
The
And
gazebo.
I asked her. I said, "Did you just lose somebody?" She said, "No, my dad's been buried here for several years, but." And she said, but I'm making a little video or something, and she's videoing us right now in the car.
Yeah, I like videoing like my talks and stuff with people because I feel like they're important.
Okay.
No, just asking them questions about God and whatnot.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Tell him all he needs to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she
Good deal.
Thank you.
she keeps a line on me, and her daughter, my little niece, she watches Uncle Roy real close too. Matter of fact, they run one girl off that I was with.
Oh yeah.
They didn't like
Well,
her.
that means they're doing their job.
Yeah, they
We gonna get Mason. Okay. All right, Roy. Well, I'll let you go. I got the kids.
Okay, listen, I can't get a hold of Vicky. You know, that little girl needs her bedroom suit. I want to get a hold of Vicky. We need to go pick it out and get it delivered.
Yeah. Well, Carly's in here. She'll be all about that.
Okay. Well, whenever we can get together, go get it. Let's go get it.
Here, Carly. Yeah. She said, yeah.
Okay, and Grandma can go with us to make sure we get the right stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
If Vicky can't go, I can't get a hold of Vicky.
Yeah. Yeah, she's busy too.
Yeah.
Trying to keep everybody happy.
Well, whenever you.
She's been wrapping presents too, Carly said.
And whenever y'all want to go, let me know. We'll run down there and see if we can't pick something out and get it delivered.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Take care. See you in a little bit.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, she's a mess, Tracy is.
Is that who that was?
Mm-hmm. That's my sister-in-law. That was my wife's brother's wife, and they keep a...
I was gonna say, at least they still call you and still keep in contact with you. That's family.
Yeah. Well, I met this girl at Market Basket.
Uh-huh.
And it was all innocent.
Yeah.
I seen her in the store, and she walked outside, and she had
You're popular.
that's what they claim. Hello.
Hey, Roy, this is Joyce.
Yeah.
Okay, can we come put those in? We got the 3 for your garage and the 1 for, is it the bathroom?
Yes, ma'am. Master bath. Yes.
Tomorrow afternoon, probably between 3:30, around 3:30.
Okay. Okay.
That'll work?
That'll work. Sounds good to me. We'll get it over with.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
I
have it
owe
over
you
there.
200 and something for that garage.
For the garage, $233.82. He'll bring an invoice with him.
Okay, Joyce. I'll
Okay.
cut him a check, and it'll all be over with.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I've got a new home, and we had blinds and stuff put in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, businesses somehow or another seem like they mess up a lot nowadays. They were one blind short. When they come out and put all the blinds in my house, I said, "Where is the blind for the master bath?" It had a frosted window there.
So they didn't think to do that though, but you wanted one.
Yeah, but I wanted a blind in there too.
Yeah.
And I'd paid for it. It was on the invoice.
Yeah, so you definitely should have got it then.
So I said, "Look, you charged me $160 here, and I don't have a blind there."
Wow.
Oh, well, we'll get it. So he called the shop and told him, "Look at the sheet and see if we got the measurements and all on the bathroom, master bath." The woman said, "Yeah, we got it." He said, "Well, it didn't come in." She said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, I had a shop built after I built my new house, and behind the house there, and so I got blinds for the 3 windows in the shop, keep people from looking in the windows and seeing all my tools and stuff. It's a 14 by 20 building, and I have a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And power tools and stuff like that." I said, "Well, I need to get those windows covered where people just would be able to walk through my backyard and..."
See what you got.
Yeah. So we did. Ordered blinds for that. Well, it's been 7-8 weeks since they put the first set of blinds in.
It's a long time to be waiting when you order it, you know what I mean?
And so I've been calling her, trying to find out when the rest of they said when they had to reorder on the garage or the shop deal, those 3, it was going to delay the other one, so the other one would come in first, the one they ordered for the house. But they wanted to do it all at once so they wouldn't have 2 calls to make because the shop is in Beaumont. I said, "That's fine." They told me it should be in within a week, so she said, "It'll just delay you maybe a week." I said, "Okay."
It's been what, almost 4 or 3 months?
Yes. So I'm kind of got
Irritated.
irritated. Says, "Man, way long.
At that point, I would have just asked for my money back and just went to a different company or something.
Well, I already have the other blinds up.
Yeah, you're right.
I got a whole house full. And so I bought this new home on 7th Street in Port Neches.
Okay.
And I used to live on Canterbury. You know where Meadowgreen Park is?
No, I do not.
Yeah, that's important. That's the big park in Port Neches, out behind the Pompano Club.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's a new addition there.
Yeah, that's where my Uncle Alex used to live, over there.
And I had a nice home there. That's where me and my wife lived. Well, when it flooded, when we got that flood, I had about 8 or 10 inches of water in my house. The whole neighborhood there flooded.
Yeah.
Right off Sable Lane, the first 2 blocks off Sable Lane. Well, we had a contractor come in there and cut the sheetrock up 4 foot to redo the house. By the time they got the sheetrock cut out of that house, you know, it's 2,700 square foot, 4-bedroom house. It was all downstairs, all on 1 floor. So, man, we had sheetrock dust everywhere. My wife was sick, I was sick, my puppy was sick, my 2 kittens were sick. That sheetrock dust was eating us up. She said, I don't know if I can take this dust anymore. I said, well, find us a place to live. I'll get that contractor to clean all this up and mop the floors till we can get moved out of here to another place, and then they can come in and finish the job, and we'll move back in. Well, she started looking, couldn't find a place, looked for several weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. One day she comes home, she says, the only thing I can find in Port Neches, because we didn't want to leave Port Neches, we're both diehard Indian fans, is a new home being built on 7th Street. She said, I know you told me to look for something smaller since it's just me and you, and we needed to downsize, you thought, at our age. So, but she said, baby, it's still a 4-bedroom home, but it's smaller. I said, how small? She said, 2,000 square feet, but it's 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. She said it has what they call a bonus room up over the garage, and there's 3 bedrooms down and 2 baths, and 1 bonus room upstairs with a master bath in it. She said, so I don't really want a 2-story house, but at your age you don't need to be going up in the attic, so we can use that for a storage room, and you won't have to go up and down the disappearing stairway when you want to put stuff up. So we'll just use it as a storage room. I said, well, okay. Well, the storage room got built, the workshop. So now we got an extra bath, an extra guest room upstairs for a buddy of mine that comes over all the time from Austin. And we just use that for a guest room now. But I don't know, me and Becky just kind of hit it off together, and
I mean, y'all ended up in y'all ended up on a house on 7th Street. Like, 7's a good number, you know. Like,
yeah.
I feel like.
Well, she I put her in 2 nice brick homes already, and we got married, and I was in a brand new home. Wasn't but a few years old, and we found this other house, and they were starting to work on it, and we got to make some changes we wanted to make because it wasn't framed yet, you know. So we made all the changes we wanted on this last big house we had on Canterbury in Meadow Green Park behind it, and that was per se our home, me and my wife's home. So she got to pick everything she wanted, the color brick and the cabinet colors, and
She felt at home.
yeah, she did what she wanted to with that one.
Yeah.
So she was happy with that situation, and I was happy that she was happy. So it worked out good.
Happy wife, happy life. That's what they say, right?
And like I say, I told my buddies, they were all saying, man, you sure you're making the right move marrying that young gal? I know what you're thinking. When you get old, you'll have a nurse to take care of you. I said, yeah, I sure will, boys. You won't. I said, but I will. And I have a young nurse take care of me, not knowing she's going to die for me.
Yeah. I mean, you never know the time, though. You never know when somebody's going to go. That's the whole point, like when I was telling you about my dad passing away. Like, that hurt me so bad because I was my best friend. You know, I was a daddy's little girl, and then you get pulled out of school. Hey, your dad's dead. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of how it happened. I was in 2nd grade, got pulled out until my dad was gone.
That's a bad age to lose your parents.
11, yeah. It was terrible. I didn't even know what death was. I had no idea what death was. And I was
you
like,
knew then, though, didn't you?
oh, instantly. And the thing is, my grandma didn't even say anything. All she said was, hey, Steven called, which is my brother. And immediately I knew. They didn't have to say that he died, nothing. I just started screaming. I fell to my knees and I was trying to run out the house. My grandma hurried up and grabbed me. I didn't know what to do and I was just crying. I was like, please take me to his house. Like, I was like telling him, I was like, we gotta go. Like, I was like rushing him the whole time, and he lived over here in Nederland, across from the Embers Club.
Yeah.
Right there. And so as soon as we got there, I run inside, and the brother that happened to do what he did to me was on the front porch. And like, I loved my brother so much, and I still do. Like, my brother was a good person. Like, I know he loved me, but he was just oppressed by something, you know? Like, he just oppressed. And so I remember running up to him. I'm like I was freaking out about when I get married. I was like, when I get married, like, who's gonna walk me down the aisle? I was like Dad's gone. Like, I was just a fucking, I'm sorry for cussing, but I was a mess.
Yeah,
I was a complete mess. I didn't know what to do anymore. And my mom said after he passed away, I was in our living room and I got electrical tape and I made a little box. And I don't remember this because I guess I started disassociating at that age. And she said I just sat in the box for like an hour or two, just sitting there. Like, I went for a really long time with not letting my mom touch me or hug me. Like, nobody could hug me for a long time. But it's like, now I know what love is because I started reading the Bible. And, you know, so like, it taught me that love is patient and kind, you know?
That's good.
Yeah. It's like a long time to get here, though.
And you go First Baptist Church in Nederland?
No, I went to Praise, but I don't go to church anymore, really. Because, like I said, they let in a false prophet, and I try to warn them after it happened. And actually today, I messaged the preacher, and I tried to have a conversation with him, and he never responded. So, like, on Facebook, I posted a link. I was like, this man's a false prophet. So he went back on Instagram and posted my picture, which is just like a social media thing. And instead of reaching out to me, because in the Bible it says speak face to face. And so on December 15th, I prophesied, like, I wrote in my Bible, like, let me expose false prophets, you know, false preachers. And this morning, I wasn't even going to expose him. He exposed himself. Like, he posted the picture himself, and I went to go to his page to message him again, because this is weighing on my heart, you know? Like, I wanted to talk to him, because he was telling people the wrong way. And so, because he made this crazy analogy about ice cream and insulin, comparing God, and he started speaking about abortion, which I know is morally wrong. Like, I already know that, you know, you're not supposed to, thou shalt not kill, you know, but why would you use that crazy analogy? And then, like, people were getting upset and walking out of church, and before he even got to that part, I was so uncomfortable, I wanted to walk out of church. And I never wanted to do that before, but my anxiety made me sit there and stay, you know, because I didn't want to walk out of church. And that was in September. It was September 15th that happened. And today is December 17th, I think. Yeah, I think it's December 17th. And he posted that picture when I went to go message him, and I was like, holy crap, like, that's my post. Like, why didn't you message me and talk to me instead? And so now I have preachers coming after me because I'm trying to teach them the right way. And like, I had somebody tell me that if somebody's Muslim, that they wouldn't go to heaven. So as a Christian, you know, we have to believe in Jesus Christ, right? And so Muslims, they pray to the same God. They pray to Yahweh. And so their sin is no different from a Catholic person praying to Mary. You know what I mean? Because that's paganism. And so forgive them for what they do not know, because, like, you know, God died for our sins. And so for them denying Jesus Christ is the same as me lying or me doing some other sin. You know what I mean? Because all sins are equal, and that's the whole point of love. And so I was just trying to tell them that, and they were like trying to mix my words and stuff. Like, they were mixing my words. I was like, do not mix my words, because that's not what I said. You know, because I was talking about how God contradicts himself. And he was like, oh, so you're saying God makes mistakes? Like, no, that's not what I said. I was like, it's kind of like black and white. They contradict each other. You know what I mean? But that doesn't make him wrong, black and white wrong. You know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying? And so I'm just like out here trying to teach people what love is and like the meaning of God and like why Jesus came down. And I have all these people hating me now because I'm speaking my truth.
And how old are you now?
I'm 22.
22?
Yeah.
You got a good head for a 22-year-old.
Thank you. And see, people tell me I'm crazy. I mean, for a while I thought I was crazy, but
What's
I'm not.
crazy, honey?
Exactly. What is crazy? Who are you to judge? You know?
Yeah, what is crazy?
This world's crazy. That's what's crazy, not me.
I'm 75 years old. Am I crazy?
No. I don't think you're crazy. I think you're a very nice man, actually. Like, I'm so happy you stopped to check on me and that we're having this conversation right now.
Well, I thought when you were sitting there looking out, I said, she's lost somebody, you know, close. And just sitting there.
Well, I was making that video, but then I saw you sitting there, so like I stopped and I was like just wondering what you were doing, you know? And I was just kind of watching you for a second, and then you rolled down the window. I was like, oh, okay. And like, I'm a very, very friendly person, so
Well, I was concerned that you had lost somebody and was very upset. You know, I said,
Used to, I would actually bring my sleeping bag and lay on my dad's grave and just cry. And that wasn't really that long ago. But like now, I don't feel that hurt anymore because I feel like him going and everything that's happened to me has put me on my path.
Well, look, let me get your number, and
Yeah,
if
please.
you want to talk someday,
Of course.
we can talk.
I would love to. Or maybe I can come to church with you one day.
Okay.
Look, I'll
Here,
can I write on the back of that.
you can write on this.
Okay.
Give me your name and phone number there.
Okay.
I'll give you mine if you want it.
Yeah, I do. I need to start making business cards.
I've got some at the house, but I don't have a business anymore.
See, I plan on opening my own church one day, or like being a spiritual guidance counselor. That's actually what I wanted to go to college for, is to help spiritually heal people, but I realized I don't have to go to college for that. Oh yeah, and so like the preacher was like, "Who's teaching you?" And I'm like, "God, what do you mean he's teaching me?" Like, and he apparently went to like a Christian school, and I was like, "That's why I don't want to learn from man, because he's driving people out the churches."
Okay, Megan.
Yes. You can put yours down.